My friends had this brilliant idea. Let's go to the mountains. They were all excitement and adventure. I pictured mud, bears, and zero pizza delivery. My ideal getaway? A hotel with slow Wi-Fi. But I caved, said yes. Packing was a disaster. Bug spray? Check. Hiking boots? Still had the tag. Phone charger? Wishful thinking. I was leaving my comfort zone behind. Fast. My friends talked about disconnecting and inner peace. I worried about ticks and the lack of coffee shops. They showed me photos of peaks and lakes. I saw a caffeine desert. But I smiled and pretended to be excited. The night before, I dreamed I tried to order a latte from a squirrel. The squirrel just judged me. It was a sign. This trip would test my patience, my sanity, and my ability to fake enthusiasm for granola. I hoped the mountains were ready for me, because I definitely wasn't ready for them. Not even close. Wish me luck, I was gonna need it. And maybe a secret stash of coffee. The adventure was about to begin. My comfort zone, already a distant memory. I could only hope for survival, and maybe a miracle espresso. The mountains loomed, my friends cheered. I braced myself. This was happening, ready or not. Here comes the reluctant explorer. Let's do this. We set off before sunrise. Captain Adventure drove, armed with a paper map. Scenic route, he declared. Translation, we're getting lost. We drove and drove. Snacks vanished. My phone lost signal. My friend in the back slept. The road turned to dirt, a sign. Bridge out ahead. We stopped at a gas station straight out of a horror movie. Eventually the mountains appeared. The journey was a test of patience. We survived. Barely. This was only the beginning. Wish me luck. Again. We arrived at the cabin. Rustic meant spiders and a weird smell, but the view? I'll admit it was stunning. Mountains everywhere, air so clean it felt suspicious, and bugs, so many bugs. Nature's welcome committee attacked my ankles. The first night, the silence was deafening. No sirens, just crickets and a judgmental owl. I lay in bed, eyeing shadows. Spider or not, I slept with shoes on. Nature's beautiful. From behind glass. Morning brought even more impressive mountains. Sunlight made everything sparkle. It was like a postcard. Then a mosquito landed on my nose. Welcome to reality, I swatted. It dodged. I swear it laughed. My friends made campfire coffee. Smoky, gritty, but hot. I sipped, ignoring the fly doing laps in my cup. This was nature raw, unfiltered, and slightly unhygienic. The mountains looked cool, but I needed more bug spray. Maybe a hazmat suit. My city instincts were on high alert. But the scenery was winning me over, slowly, even if the bugs were relentless. I was out of my element, but the view almost made up for it. Almost. I started to see why people did this, sort of. The bugs weren't going anywhere, neither was I. At least not until I found more bug spray. Or a way to make peace with the insects. The struggle was real, but so was the beauty. Nature, 1, me, 0. But the game wasn't over yet. I was still in it. Barely. The real challenge hit. No Wi-Fi, not a single bar. My phone became a sleek, expensive brick. I waved it around, hoping for a miracle signal. The mountains just stared back, unimpressed. Digital detox had begun, whether I liked it or not. Panic set in. How would I check emails, post photos, maintain my online persona? My friends embraced it. Enjoy the moment, they said. Easy for them, they actually liked talking to each other. I kept reaching for my phone. Tap, swipe, blank screen, repeat. The dance of the disconnected. But then I started noticing things. Sunlight through leaves, the sound of wind, actual birds. It was different. Not bad. Just phoneless. My brain didn't know what to do with all the extra space. Dave tried to help. Look, a bird, he'd say. I'd look, it was a bird. Still no Wi-Fi. This was going to be tough. The mountains were beautiful, sure. But could they tell me the latest celebrity gossip? No. Advantage Wi-Fi. But nature was putting up a fight. I was forced to unplug, and maybe, just maybe, that wasn't the worst thing. I started to adjust, slowly. The world didn't end without notifications. But I still missed memes and cat videos. The struggle was real, but so was the scenery. Maybe I could survive this, maybe. If I didn't, at least the mountains would look good in my last selfie. Then came hiking. My friends bounced with energy. I translated "let's hit the trails" to "let's suffer." My new boots felt like lead. The trail only went up, and up, and up. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. Invigorating, Captain Adventure yelled. Invigoratingly painful, I wheezed. The local cuisine was another adventure. We ate at a village spot, menu unreadable. I pointed at something random. It arrived brown and lumpy. Just eat it, my friend said. It tasted earthy. My character was getting built all right. Wildlife encounters. A deer ran from me, squirrels mocked my hiking pace. A beetle tried to share my breakfast. I declined, with a yelp. Nature is full of surprises. Not all pleasant, especially before coffee. My hiking skills became a running joke. I tripped, slipped, and hugged several bushes. "Are you hugging that tree, Jimmy?" Dave asked. "Just admiring its bark," I replied, dignity gone. By day 3 I had little dignity left, but I kept going, one slow, painful step at a time. The alternative? Being left alone with the squirrels, and their judgmental stares, the things we do to avoid looking like a quitter. I survived. Barely. The mountains were relentless. So were my friends, but I was still standing, sort of. The adventure continued. My legs hated me, but I was determined, even if the squirrels weren't impressed. I was earning my mountain stripes, one awkward step at a time, and maybe, just maybe, I was starting to get it. A little. Let's talk about the views. Wow, seriously, wow. All the bug bites, bad food, and Wi-Fi withdrawal, almost worth it. At the summit, the world opened up. Mountains layered to forever. My vocabulary shrank to whoa. Sunrises were a daily miracle. The sky blushed pink, orange, gold. The peaks glowed. I tried to take pictures. My phone couldn't capture it. The photos looked flat. Technology just wasn't enough. One afternoon, a storm rolled in. We watched from the porch. Dark clouds, distant lightning, thunder echoing through valleys. It wasn't scary, just powerful, primal. Made me feel small in a good way. Better than any disaster movie because it was real. Even the quiet moments stunned me. A still lake, wildflowers, morning mist. It was all so unreal, like a fantasy movie set. Except you could smell the pine and feel the breeze, and get bitten by real mosquitoes. My camera gave up. It knew it was outmatched. The mountains didn't care about my Instagram, they just existed. Massive, ancient, beautiful. I started to appreciate the scale, the silence, the feeling of being a tiny speck in a huge world. It was humbling, and kind of amazing. I stopped trying to capture it all and just looked. Sometimes, that's enough. The mountains taught me that. No filter needed, just eyes wide open and maybe a little less phone. The views were unbeatable. And so was the feeling. I was finally starting to get it. I had visions for my social media me, gazing at peaks, hash-blessed, reality swatting flies, tripping over rocks, hair a mess. My friends looked like they belonged flannel, boots, rare bird spotting. I lagged behind, checking for phone service. No luck. They posed, looking rugged. I grimaced, desperate for a chair. My Instagram would have to wait. The mountains served up humble pie, tasted like trail mix with too many raisins. I got a few photos, mostly trees, my feet blurry mountains, proof I survived, but not the feeling. The scale, the air, the silence, none of it fit in a photo. It was an internal experience, not Instagrammable. Maybe that was the point. The mountains just are massive, ancient, beautiful. They don't pose or curate. I fussed with my phone while the landscape just existed. It was a lesson in perspective, and in taking selfies without falling off cliffs. Important life skill, I've decided. Almost as important as finding Wi-Fi. Almost. The mountains made me feel small in a good way. Worrying about angles and lighting seemed silly. I was just a visitor here. The mountains didn't care, and maybe for once, neither did I. I started to let go, just a little. The experience was real even if my photos weren't perfect. Sometimes you just have to be there, no filter needed, just you and the view, and maybe a bug or two. As days passed, something strange happened. I started to relax. The urge to check my phone faded. A little. I stopped counting bug bites, as much. I found myself just sitting, looking at the mountains, not thinking about emails or late-night TV. The silence wasn't scary anymore, it was nice. Is this inner peace or just boredom? Hard to tell. The views were ridiculous, every sunset a masterpiece. It was like living inside a screensaver with actual wind. I started to get why people do this. Why they leave comfy homes and Wi-Fi to just be. It was beautiful, even for a sarcastic city slicker like me. My friends noticed. "You're smiling," they said. "Is that real, or are you thinking about pizza?" "Both," I admitted. You can appreciate nature and miss pizza. It's called multitasking. The mountains chipped away at my cynicism. I was actually enjoying myself. This was heaven outdoorsy, no room service heaven. The air was pure, the water clean, the views heavenly. But where was the coffee shop? A celestial vista is great, but a latte at 7,000 feet? That's peak civilization, just a thought, nature. Consider it a suggestion. I was hooked. Almost. Still, a little caffeine wouldn't hurt. The mountains had won me over. Mostly. I was a convert. Sort of. But I'd still trade a view for a good espresso. Maybe. Okay, probably not. But a guy can dream. I survived the wilderness. The mountains didn't swallow me and the bears stayed away. Fewer mosquito bites than expected. More photos of rocks and trees. I called it an experience. But, fine, it was pretty amazing. I learned I can survive without Twitter. It's hard, but possible. But beauty can hit you when you least expect it. Would I do it again? Ask me after a real shower and coffee. There's something about that vastness, that quiet power. Everyday problems seem smaller out here. I found a slice of heaven in the mountains, but the views are to die for, literally, if you're not careful. The adventure changed me, but I'll always remember the view, and maybe, just maybe, I'll go back.